And we are live. Live. And I just got a text. Crazy. One really annoying thing about this term is I lost my clock. It's been like $55 on it and I lost my clock. Very unfortunate. I'm going to be eating during this stream because I just got home. I've been playing chess for 10 hours today, so I'm hungry. 10 hours is an exaggeration, probably like 8 hours. So I'm hungry, and I'm going to be eating. If you don't like it, you can leave. Hey Kyle, how you doing, man? Oh, whoops. Oh, I'm scrolled. I fixed it. I'm good at that. Ali Qantas, aren't you an EU person? Shouldn't you be sleeping? I've been there. I've burned the midnight oil. In fact, I've burned the 2:20 a.m. oil. Fair enough. Fair enough. So we'll get started here. I played the Manhattan Open this weekend, which is a big tournament in Manhattan, and I played in the under 2200 section. And you know, there's some good players. I mean, under 2200, that's like up to master, right? So people in the section are good. And I ended up scoring 3 of 5, which was about expected for my rating. I think my rating's gonna stay about the same, which is a little bit disappointing. But I sort of got away with it because I think my play was not great. So I'm happy I won the 3 games because, in all honesty, maybe I shouldn't have. You're playing a rhythm game called Osu. I'll check it out. Sounds cool. I like rhythm games. So yeah, I scored 3 of 5, which was nice. And I played some. There was some interesting stuff that happened in my games. So I'm going to take us through some of the positions that I got, which I thought were either interesting or instructive or cool or whatever. So the first one, this was my round 1 game. I was playing against an older gentleman who was around 1800, so he was one of the lowest rated players in the field. And oh, I had black. I should have flipped the board. Oh, so that's not how you flip the board. Did I drop a queen? No queen to drop. No, like, horrific blunders. Nothing terrible, I just didn't play great. So, I'm going to speed through the opening because it doesn't matter. It's not very interesting. It was a queen a5 winnower, which if you watch the channel, you know I play this, which is sort of funny. And I like playing this because if the opponent doesn't know what they're doing, they get a really terrible position as white, and that's what happened in this game. Because knight f3, that's a normal move. But after b6, I'm threatening to play bishop a6 and trade the light square bishops. And I've had this position twice, and both times my opponents have played bishop d3, which is just a bad move. You have to either play c4 or take if you want to have any advantage as white. But I mean, okay, bishop d3, it's not losing. I'm just totally equal now. Because after bishop a6, he took it, which is, oh god, that's not what I wanted to do. After bishop a6, he took it, which is, it's probably the best move. But I mean, you can take this bishop from f1. So if you're planning that, maybe just go like h4. Because now this makes a little bit more sense. But okay, bishop d3. We traded bishops. I take with the queen so that my knight can develop to the center. Also, I'm stopping him from castling. He played queen e2. I traded queens because his structure is worse than mine. Although, I will say that there's some merit in keeping the queens on. You can play like queen a4, hit this pawn again. It's a little bit annoying for black, or for white. Maybe... Yeah, I don't know what white does here. Maybe white just goes queen d1 back. But then that's good for black. And then I go knight c6 and I have a great position. So queen a4 is totally reasonable, but I traded queens because the endgame is good for me. Although I have to be a little bit careful here. So this will be the first moment where I'll pause and I'll ask the chat, what do you think should be played here for black? What should black play? My opponent was 1800, or 17 and a lot of change. So one of the lowest rated players in the section. I was about middle of the section, so I got paired down the first round to one of the bottom players. Not knight c6 because that's too obvious. Hey, if you want to play knight c6, play knight c6. c4 is a good move. c4 is definitely a good move. Knight c6 is going to run into some trouble. And I've had to calculate a little bit here. Because I want to play knight c6. That's absolutely the move I want to play. But if I play knight c6, I'm probably going to be worse here. Because white will take. And all of a sudden, there's like some trouble coming down the b file. And I'm just really underdeveloped. And I think white is better here. Because say after, I don't even know what to play, like knight e7, rook b7, you kind of have to go rook b8. I mean, you can castle, I guess. But I'm scared. Also, I can play like bishop e3. That's annoying. So, in fact, yeah, I'm going to play that right now. If you castle, I'm going to play bishop e3. And I think white's okay here. Maybe white's not better, but this is equal. And I didn't feel like this position was equal. So, c4 is another good move. I played knight d7. With a similar idea, if he takes, I will leave the b file closed. Oops. After knight d7, my opponent played knight e1, which is terrible. I played knight e7. My opponent played f4. I played knight c6, which isn't very good. I should probably go knight f5, and then like get this knight on c6. But okay, knight c6, he has to go knight f3. Here I played f5 because I just want to lock the position up, but it's not very good. I should play f6 probably and maintain more tension. If he ever takes, that's great for me. This knight gets to a sensible square. So, but okay, I played f5, which is fine. He's going to break on the g file. I'm not going to let him. And now we're going to trade all the rooks down the g file. Trade, trade. I play h6 because knight g5 check is annoying. He plays king d1, which is ridiculous. Here I played knight a5, trying to get this knight to a good square. Okay. And here we get to what I thought was the most interesting position in the game. Oh, I should change the title of the stream. I almost forgot. Oops, that's not how you spell that. Excuse me. Why is my F key beyond broken? There we go. Yeah, so I was really happy to have this position. It looks sort of strategically winning for black because basically my knight is a good piece and this bishop is the worst bishop the world has ever seen. So here I thought I was on my way to a relatively smooth win, and it turns out this ending is much more difficult to win than I expected. So I started with c4, just totally closing the position down, making sure this bishop will be terrible for forever. My opponent played king f3, and here I'm going to pause. There's kind of two winning ideas in this position, although you sort of need to understand both of them in order to win this position, because understanding one of them won't really be good enough. So I'm going to ask you guys to think ahead here and try and figure out what are the winning ideas for black in this position. Because it's a good knight versus bad bishop, and that's clearly good for black, but this position doesn't win itself. I have to do something, I have to make progress, I have to win. So there are sort of two winning ideas, and I'd like you guys to attempt to find them here. Because this position was not nearly as trivial as I thought it was in the game. Okay, so when you put your knight on b5, I'll have my bishop on b2. Chewing celery on stream, for real. Yes, I'm hungry. I just played a tournament, man. Lay off. Also tomatoes with hummus. Good. But it's nutritious. Yeah. So when the knight shows up on b5, white has to have the bishop on b2. So for example, say I wait forever, and I let you do whatever you want. Here the knight's threatening to come to b5, so I have to play here, and bishop b2. And I have my stuff defended. It's not pretty, but my stuff is defended. Here's the thing. Here's one thing to realize about this position. I'm never getting in on this side. The black king will never enter on this side. It's just not possible. White can always find a way to wait here. So that's very unfortunate because then it's hard to make progress if I'm never getting in on this side. How is this position not a draw? Because there's winning ideas. We just have to find them. Yeah, that's the very difficult part of this position, is that the black king cannot come in through the king side. How do we win? King to a4 is an idea. King to h5. Again, I can put my king on h5, but the king is never coming in on this side. Just to show an example, if the king is here, white plays h3 and then bounces the king. And this square is covered, this square is covered, this square is covered, which means the black king can't get in. So we have some ideas, and we have to put them together. One plan, which we've sort of hit upon, is to blockade this side of the board with the knight, and then bring our king to a4. And any winning idea is going to involve these moves, as Ali Qantas has pointed out. That's the only way to break through. So I'm going to have to play b5, a5, and b4 at some point. And I saw part of the idea, but I didn't see the whole idea. So this ending ends up being really sketchy. However, I should point out, white can go... black has another idea here, which is pretty cool, and I thought was sort of instructive. King here. I can put my knight on a6, or on c6, excuse me. I'll play b5. Okay, if the king comes here, I'll play king g7. And now white's going to wait. I play a5. Now, here's where it gets tricky. If you go here, then b5 is a big problem. Or sorry, not here. Excuse me. Here, I can't go b5. I should show that, or b4, excuse me. I can't go b4 because of takes. And if you take here, takes, and now white is probably winning. This pawn is really hard to stop. So in this position, very, very cool, instructive moment, you go a4. What? What is this a4 nonsense? Well, the point is, if white waits, which, I mean, white has to wait, he can't do anything. Now I go b4. What? So if you take, you lose. If you take this way, I'll take this pawn, put my knight here, and I'll win something. That's a really cool idea that just never crossed my mind during the game. Playing a4 and then b4. These moves are wrong. What? What does that even mean? Okay, so David Sanders has a point. The white king doesn't have to come here. But if you don't, then I have another idea. And I'll showcase this idea. The other idea is I'll go king g7. Say you want the white king to come to d2. Okay, the white king can come to d2. Knight f8. Knight g6. And now notice black has totally blockaded the king side. So now the kings come over. These move orders are a little strange. Black should have b5 in already to prevent an a4. So just assume black got b5 already. Just to show you guys in the game. In the game, I started with b5 because I didn't want white to play a4. So, you know, get rid of those a4 ideas. I'm not going to allow that. And if you give me a pass pawn on the a file, it's just game over. So here, we'll just assume that b5 has already been played. White can't do anything. This bishop is tied. To this pawn here, and it's also sort of tied to this square. This is an entry square for the knight. White can play a4, but I mean, in this precise position, white can play a4, which is a little bit annoying. I think there's a way to do this that doesn't allow a4. But in this precise position, a4 is playable, yes. But I'm just going to keep going to show the idea. Say white waits. White can't really do anything. So I'll put my king on a4. You wait. Now I play h5. And this is a very annoying move. I'm threatening to play h4, and then taking here. So you sort of need to play h3 to give your bishop a square. I play h4 anyway. Now the bishop is stuck. The bishop cannot move. Also note that when we break with b4, the b4 break is winning if and only if the king is on a2. But, lucky for me, I've got a pawn on the starting rank. So I can decide exactly when b4 comes. So here I'm going to play a6. King b2, a5. King a2, b4. And this is winning. The point being, after all the takes, you do not have c3. Keeping my king out. And now you're busted because I have check. So that's the other idea. You can blockade the king side with the knight, come in, play h5, force the bishop to h7, and then break b4 whenever it's useful. You can always break b4 when the king's on a2 because there's a pawn on the starting square. Well, if you don't play c takes b4, then you're just losing. I'm going to play b3 next. And then you're really losing. Say, this is Zugzwang. You have to allow my king to a3. Which means you're lost. So, two winning ideas. I didn't quite put it all together. And I won this game by psychological warfare. You'll see, I played b5. We do a dance with the kings. I tried this idea first. I thought I could force a Zugzwang here and get knight e3 and take this pawn, but it just doesn't work because again I tried to get my king in, but you just can't. Very annoying. And the king just can't come in. So here, I gave up because the knight's not doing anything. And I can't. I went around the horn, as they say. Here I tried my second idea, which was to play knight c6. But I also realized here that that a5 b4 wasn't really working, and I missed this idea of a5 a4, which was crazy. So I started to set up a blockade on the king side, and here we go. I got my blockade. My king comes in, and here I totally missed this h4 idea. For some reason, I thought I was really focused on bringing my knight over to the king side and breaking b4, but I missed this h4 idea. So I brought the knight over. I played a6. That was a little fancy. Yeah, it's a great endgame. And here I played a5. And now, after bishop e3, I went into a really long think. And I realized that in this position, b4 doesn't win. This is the move I've been building up for. And it's just not winning. After takes, if I play king takes, he has c3. And now I'm not doing anything, anywhere. So this is clearly drawn. And if I should show, say I bring my knight here. Well, my knight's great here, but this bishop never has to move. He just plays king a2, king b2, king a2, king b2, and I can never do anything. I was actually going to try this cute little shot. Or sorry, not here. King a2, king a4, king b2. Not here either. No, here, yeah. Here I might try knight a1. And I don't really know what's going on here. This was just a thought I had. But I realized that it actually doesn't do anything because he doesn't have to take it. He just does that, and then, then I have nothing. But, I mean, if he takes it, it's interesting. Like, this is something. I'm winning a pawn. I'm winning one of these. It's probably a draw. +1. If it says +1, it's probably a draw. I don't know, but yeah. So that's just clearly not winning. And if I take here with the knight, he just goes bishop d2. He's threatening to take. As soon as the knight goes away, c3. And I have nothing. I just have totally nothing. So here, I realize that b4 isn't winning, so I play knight b8 because I have to make a move. And now my opponent played king a2, and it's so ridiculous. Now b4 is winning, and I didn't play it because the point is now there's no c3. If you check, I go c3. So when the king's on a2, b4 wins. And I just somehow didn't realize this. So I'm winning here. I'm winning here. And here I was being tricky. This is what I talked about winning on psychological warfare. My knight's just gone on a random meander across the board. And here I played knight g7. And this actually carries a threat. But my opponent was so bored that he just played king a2. And now I get to execute my threat. I played h4. And all of a sudden, the knight's actually coming into the position. So now I'm winning. The point is, if you take, I actually win both these pawns. And I'm totally winning. So he didn't take, but now you're just losing. It is a fork. So, and here I'm going to take this, and then the f-pawn is just going to roll, and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, not a great game for me. I got this strategically winning ending, and then I didn't play it very well. I didn't really calculate the ideas super well, but not terrible either. I thought it was interesting, the ending. Anyway, that was my round 1 game. Round 2, I got paired with a 2100. He's a really nice guy. His name's Jeremy. And he's a good player. Outplayed my opponent. Outplayed. I put him to sleep. He was old, too. He was probably tired. The round started at like 7. It was probably 11 by the time we finished. Oh, he was also running out of time. What's my rating? 2050. So, I played 2 2100s this tournament, and I lost to both of them. And it was a little bit frustrating because these are the players that I have to start beating if I want to make Master, which is my goal. So, I wasn't thrilled about losing to these players. But they played well. They were interesting games. Here I had white. Yeah, I lost this game as white, which was very unfortunate. We got a King's Indian. And so I play the same-ish, which involves knight g2 and f3. And here my opponent played a little bit of a strange move order. Normally people castle and then they figure out what they're going to do. But he started doing things right away. Knight c6, that's normal. Bishop e3. Rook b8, and he's ready to go b5. And normally I avoid this by going queen d2, rook c1, and knight d1. I should show this. So if we come from like a normal move order, f3, a6, bishop e3, knight c6, queen d2, rook b8, rook c1. The point is you can't go b5 because this knight is hanging. So bishop d7, and now you go knight d1, and the point is if b5 you'll go c5. Which is interesting. And you're going to take with the rook to preserve your structure. So that's what I want to do. But because of my opponent's move order and omitting castling, I don't have time to do this. If I play rook c1 here, then after bishop d7, I can't play knight d1 because my queen's in the way. And I don't want to play knight b1 because then I played knight d1. So if you want to know more about this line, it's called the Pano. I think the Pano. I'm not sure on that. I think it's the Pano. So here I played a4, which I think is a bad move. And I think this is a big lesson for me from this tournament. So black is ready to play b5. But black also hasn't castled. So instead of saying to myself, I have to stop b5, what I should be saying to myself is, what happens if black plays b5? For example, say I go queen d2, and black goes b5. Instead of saying, I have to stop this, I should examine whether or not it's good. And that's a big thing. Not only is it important to see your opponent's ideas, it's also important to decide if they're good ideas or not. Because here, I think black is much worse after d5. And I'm going to have huge pressure coming in with this knight. And you haven't castled yet. So I'm going to take this with check. It's like very unfortunate for you. Here, say, knight e5. Knight d4, this is hanging. And black has some issues to address here. I don't know, maybe you go knight c4? But this all feels... No, you can't go knight c4, this is hanging. This square is very weak as well. So I think you should go something like bishop d7. That seems almost forced. But this looks incredible for white. Well, it's not that b5 is bad. It's that black should really castle before playing b5, because I have big time threats here, and a lot of them are based on the fact that you haven't castled. I wonder if I can take this. That's probably a little bit too ambitious. It's interesting, though, but it's a little bit too ambitious, I think. Yeah, what's it say? Oh, okay, yeah. Plus 0.8. If you go b4, I'll go knight a4. So, no, evaluation has dropped, actually. Interesting, it doesn't even want to go d5. But okay, this is a normal position. After a4, it's a pretty crazy position, because I have a lot of space, but I've also left some squares behind. So my opponent castled, I play queen d2. My idea is, if you go knight a5, targeting, it's sort of a fork of these two squares, I would go knight c1. Guarding that, guarding that. And then I'm going to play d4, and you're in a lot of trouble. So my opponent played e5, d5, and he jumped into this knight hole. And this knight is hanging, so I could try some like trickery with knight b5, but then probably just a5. And this knight is really strong. So I think I played a sensible move. Actually, let me ask, what would you guys play? My chat army. What's the move here? H4, go get him. A5. A5 is interesting, and it's probably a good move. Knight A2. Knight G3, C5, Knight A2, A5, H4. So, interesting suggestions. Interesting suggestions here. I think A5 is a good move, fixing the queenside structure and gaining even more space. I think that's a sensible move. I think H4 is also a good move, starting an attack on the king side because black's been playing on the queen side a lot. Yeah, G4 is a move in the same-ish. Here's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to castle queenside here. So I'm a little hesitant to play G4. Because if I play G4, I'm really committing to castling queenside. I don't think I want to castle queenside. That looks a little scary. Playing A4 does not lead to queenside castles feeling very safe. But I think I like H4 more. It's a little bit less committal than G4, and you're going to get a quick H5. Maybe if they don't react, you'll go like G4 afterwards. C5 is probably a little early. C5. It's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look terrible. I think I have to go A5. This is interesting. But last but not least, David Sanders. That is exactly what I played in the game. I played the less aggressive, more positional knight c1. And the point is, I want to trade off this knight. It's a strong knight. It's just sitting on my face. But I wanted to use my passive knight. Because this knight is on the nice square. It's in the center. This knight on e2 was sort of a bad piece. Also, I should point out, knight g3, I'm not thrilled to play knight g3. And the reason is, if I play knight g3, first of all, this knight doesn't really have a future here. And second of all, I'm worried about like h5 from black, going h4. So, which is a common idea against knights on like g3 or b3, you just go h5, h4. And here, black is also maybe going to play like king h7, bishop h6. So h5 is a multi-purpose move. So I don't really walk into that. I play knight c1. Knight e2 is also good, but I wanted to use the other knight. My opponent played knight d7. I think he was fearing c5, which was someone else's idea. So kudos whoever thought of that. I played knight d3. He can play c5 here. He can also play a5, but he just took it, which is simple. And here, knight c5. Let's poll the chat. Here are your two options. What should you play? You played b4? You're gonna give me this bishop? I think that's a mistake. Oh yeah, knight b3. That was the threat. I forgot. I saw it in the game, but I forgot about it here. Yeah, you can't play b4. That's why bishop c2 is a move. Bishop c2 stops the knight coming in. Iago says bishop c2. I agree. I played bishop c2. I like this piece a lot. I don't want to give it up. And now I really am going to play b4. So black plays a5. And here, I thought this was a really interesting position where I went wrong. I played incorrectly. So let me ask the chat. Don't give me a move. I don't want any moves. I want a plan. What's your plan for white? What's your plan? Give me a long-term plan. No moves. Long-term plan. We've got two people going for the hack attack. H4, H5, G4. What's my USDF? 20.50, 20 and change, $20.50. So, yeah, the old knight f5. That's a favorite of mine, actually. So, in the game I played knight b5, which I think is a mistake. And here I was not alert. Outplay my opponent. I lost this game. So I did not outplay my opponent. But here I was not alert. A5 does two things. It makes b4 really hard to achieve, and it closes the queen side. So I think the best move, and the incredibly logical move here, is long castle. I think this move is so strong. And I'm going to go h4, h5. Because the queen side has closed. This a4 weakness doesn't really matter anymore. Because like these weak squares, I'm not going to get mated over here with my weakened queen side because it's really hard for black to play b5. So I had been focused on playing on the queen side and breaking the queen side for so long that I didn't really pay attention when the queen side closed. c6, I'll leave it. c6, okay, h4. I'm really quick with this. Takes. I'll go h5. Yeah, black here needs to play f5 at some point. Yeah, f5. Here I will. Oh yeah, that's losing. That's very losing. That's incredibly losing, in fact. That's a nice spot. So you can't do that. Yeah, I think you have to. Here you have to start with f5 or maybe h5. But f5, I probably take it. And it's complicated, but white is better. White has all his pieces out. These pieces aren't really contributing to the game here. I mean, you can play this here. But I don't know if this is even good. I'll go h4. I think it's hard for black. So I didn't do any of that. I played knight b5. And I calculated this really long line, starting with c6. I spent probably 15 minutes here calculating what happens after c6. Because it's pretty complex. It's something like takes. I was thinking of taking with the queen, which hits this rook. And then I was calculating stuff with knight b3, which is really complicated. Stuff like knight b3, rook a3. And I just didn't know what was happening here. I think white is better. It's not so clear though. I think white is winning in that line. If you take here, then I'm really winning because he's not happy. Zug Addict, yeah, I like that guy. So yeah, I calculated this huge long line, and then I felt really, really stupid because my opponent played b6, and I was like, oh, I'm dumb. So that's a lesson for us all. Don't calculate like deep, calculate wide. Instead of considering one line really like deeply, make sure there's not like some other move for your opponent on the first move of your variation. I could have saved like 10 minutes here if I had been like, oh, he plays b6. Maybe this is a dumb move. Excuse me. And here, after b6, I castled, which is bad. I should go b4 right away, probably. And here my opponent said after the game he would play knight b7, which holds up a5. Which is a little bit annoying. This knight has to find its way to the b3 square, which is not the easiest thing for him to do. However, this knight can also chill here and tie black to the c7 square. This is complicated. Yeah, this is interesting for sure. So that would have been something, but instead I castled, and my opponent played the very astute knight a6. And now it's really hard to play b4. I dropped my knight back, it wasn't doing anything, and f5, and black is really taking over the game. Here, I think I played a mistake, knight a2. I have to take this. I underestimated black's attack, because after knight a2, f4. And this is coming really quick. I mean, yeah, he really took the initiative and ran with it. b4, I got my break. We traded everything, and g4. And this is the last thing I learned about this game. I learned some ideas on how to handle the King's Indian defense, defending against the King's Indian attack. So let me ask, what would you play in this position? This is not losing by any means. Black is slightly better, but white has to be accurate. No, black is only slightly better. This is not losing, but I have to be very accurate. Yeah, it's scary, but you know, scary and good are not always the same. King h1, you're losing. King h1 loses immediately. Yeah, bishop d1 is, I think, almost an only move. King h1 takes. If you have to take like this, yeah, that's bad news. So yeah, bishop d1. I think is almost an only move. And you have to see what's coming here. I took, which is incorrect, but it's because I definitely considered bishop d1, but I thought just like queen g5, and life is really hard. So let me ask, what did I miss here? What's the idea for white in this position? Bishop e1 here. Bishop e1 here is probably playable. g3! That is bold. Bishop e1 is always a move. Here I think there's a more... Bishop e1 is probably fine here, but there's a more accurate move. There's a more accurate defense. Yeah, queen d2. And the point is, you can't play g3. So you have to make a move like queen g6, and now I play bishop e1. I sort of got this defensive move, queen d2 in for free. And this is really nice. Here, this is what I learned. We ignore this. We get started with our play. And the point is, on takes is probably not best here, because white goes king h1, and the king is vaguely safe on h1. Yeah, exactly. You're just going to use this pawn as a shield. So, I mean, black probably doesn't want to take, but the thing is, if black tries to pressure this pawn with like queen h6, well, all of a sudden I'm all over this. So I think in this position, black needs to try and get either the rook or the bishop involved somehow. Maybe something confusing like rook f6. I hung my queen? Where did I hang my queen? Yeah, that was my point, is that this is a pin. Yeah, and black can push the h-pawn, but I mean, are you going to play h3 here? It's interesting. Maybe you can. But whenever you play h, ooh, that, you know, that's something. That's definitely something. I mean, when you play h4, I'll play h3 then, because this queen is actually really good on the defense. No, as soon as h4 shows up on the board, I'm going h3, and I'll put my queen on g2 and just be really, really solid. So here I'm surviving. In the game, I'm not surviving. Fg4, because I missed this idea of going bishop e1 and allowing g3, which was scary but necessary. Here I played bishop d1, queen g5. Now I should go queen d2, but I thought after queen d2, takes was annoying, because if I go queen takes, there's f3, very troublesome. And if I go rook takes, then queen g4, and the threat is f3. And, you know, have fun stopping that, right? Because f3 discovers an attack on the e-pawn as well. It's not pretty. So instead of queen d2, which is probably best, I played queen c3 with the idea of at least guarding the third rank in this f3 square. So of course black played f3. The point is, now I'm threatening to play bishop f3, and then I'm really defending. So he has to break through. And here I missed a chance to be vaguely okay. So let me ask, what's the move for black, or what's the move for white here, excuse me? This is the last one of this game. What's the move? One vote for bishop e3. H4. Queen e3 is interesting. It's not even something I considered and I wonder why. I'd probably go Queen g6. Maybe you have Bishop g3 here. Bishop g3 is what I played in the game, and Bishop g3 is losing very, very badly. Let's see what the engine has to say. Rook f4! It's sort of like this as well. No, but then Bishop g3 I was holding. So it wants to go Rook f4 here. Yikes. What's going on? I'm going to take on g2 here, I think. Yeah. That's nasty. That's really nasty. Yeah, I didn't see this. I didn't calculate this one at all. Yeah, I mean, I should have considered Queen e3. That actually didn't cross my mind. But if he has to find Rook f4 to have an advantage, Queen e3 doesn't look so bad, because I don't know if you're finding Rook f4. Yeah, I played Bishop g3, which loses, but the move is Bishop e3. But I saw Bishop e3, and then I saw Queen g6, and I was like, oh, I'm just totally lost. But there's some nice geometry that saves the day, so how does white save the day here? G3, everyone wants to play g3, it's not a good idea. Don't play g3. After the rook swing, it's okay for white, it's not okay for white. Rook f2? Rook f2 is losing. Rook f2, I'll take on g2, and then I'll take on e4. You can't hang this. Oh no, I see your idea. Rook f2, you're gonna take here with the rook, and then take this piece. That's interesting. So I'll take here right away then. Bishop c2 wins the queen. Does it now? You might be right. Amusing. Okay, I see your idea. Rook f2, huh? This can't possibly be good. I refuse to believe that this is a good idea. Rook f2. I'll try bishop h3. Bishop takes f3, rook takes f3. Yeah, it's hard, right? I think bishop h3 is good here. And now I think g3 is forced. But as soon as you play g3, I'm all over that. g3, now I'll take this. Now I really will take that. I cleared some squares for my queen. Also, you played g3. Ridiculous. Let's see. Let me engine check this line, because I don't want to take forever on this. Rook f2, bishop h3, -2. Black is winning. So the only move in this position, which is really, really nice, is queen c2. And the point is, after takes, I'll take here. And then I'll play queen takes g2, where the queen still guards the pawn. It guards the pawn from both locations. Really, really nice. And here white is okay. Maybe black's a little bit better, but white's definitely not losing in this position. I'm going to take here soon. So some nice geometry that I missed in the game. Otherwise, I would have more seriously considered bishop e3. But you have to see this little queen maneuver, this little zigzag. Yeah, that's the problem. Black just goes like raw and attacks, and white has to find these ridiculous queen c2 to queen g2 moves. So I played bishop g3, which I thought made sense, and takes. I have to take on f8. I took this, and let's see who's good at attacking. What should black play here? I mean, black has a lot of good moves, but my opponent played a really good move. Bishop h3. I do like free pieces. Yeah, h5. The truth hurts. You cannot take this piece. After queen takes, there's a double threat. So if you can't take this piece, your life sucks. Also, this is just a threat. And as soon as the bishop moves, then there's this takes with check. So I played the only move in the position, h4, which was not a move I was happy to play, believe you me. This was not a move I wanted to play. Queen g6, eyeing the pawn. I played queen d3. And how did black basically win the game? Black basically won the game over the next two moves. Because if you don't find this, maybe I'll consolidate. But I mean, Black's 2100. He found the winning idea here. Bishop h6. What's your threat? You're good, man. No need to apologize. Put your bishop on f4. Nah, that'll hold them. If you do this, I'm taking rook f1. In fact, I might be better. all of a sudden. Yeah, but if you play queen f6, this rook comes into play real quick. Black's totally winning. Yeah, queen d3 was a nice move, but rook f6, it's too slow. Hold on, I hung something. I can't do that, actually. That's a little annoying. That's a little annoying. Rook f6 is probably good for a black advantage. But it's not winning on the spot. Win on the spot. Bishop takes bishop is correct. Now what? Win on the spot. Queen g4, no threat. Bishop f6 is not good enough. Bishop f6, I play king h2. I'm fine. It's sort of refreshing to know that that if any of you had had this position, I might not have lost. Rook f4. Yikes! That one hurts. That one hurts real bad. There's nothing I can do. It's not where's the counterplay, I'm just losing a pawn. I can't save those. Yikes. Yeah, rook f4 strikes again, the second time. One pawn, so? David Sanders, what would you like to play in this position as white? Because white has no good move. Rook e1. I'll take. You're in a lot of trouble here. Because your pieces are tied to this. I can't move. I can't make a move. So after rook f4, I played on until the time control, and then I resigned. I played rook f1, and this is really simply winning. But my opponent didn't play that, so good for me, I guess. He took this. I tried rook f5, defending this pawn. Rook g4. Rook g4 is not best. Rook f4 is probably best. But the point is I can't take that. Very annoying. So rook f4 was better, but okay, rook g4. But all of a sudden I'm actually like maybe gonna try and survive with king h3. I had to stop h4. Very annoying. Bishop f6, queen f3. I'm on the bishop. Also, I'm on the rook, so you can't play h4. I take the rook. King g7, and here I blundered. I was in really bad time pressure, I should mention the time control for this turn, which was a little bit strange. You had it was 100 minutes for 40 moves, and then a 30-minute sudden death. But there was only a 10-second delay. Not even increment, delay. So I usually play 90 minutes with a 30-second increment. So playing with a 10-second delay was really rough. Here, I was down to I think 16 seconds. And I saw an idea, and I went for it. It's almost a Zugzwang here. I played c5. And my idea was, if you take this way, well, I know what my next 4 moves are. And if you take this way, my plan was to take this pawn. So I played c5, and he took this way, and then I was like, oh shit. If I take this pawn, it's mate in 1. So my idea doesn't work. Very sad. It's a cool idea, but I get mated. Very unfortunate. And my opponent had much more time than me, which made this very difficult. So instead of c5, necessary is to wait with the bishop, but you have to guard this square, so something like bishop f2. And, is white much worse? Yes. But black still has to find a way to win. It's not so clear how black wins this position. So this would have required my opponent to at least do something. I thought this was an interesting position. So, yeah, that would have been better, but I played c5. Takes, queen f2 is ridiculous, it just hangs this pawn. I was trying to cover this square so I could take this, but queen f2 is just another blunder. Again, not much time. Takes. I played queen f3 back because I have to make a move. What does the computer say after bishop f2? -1. So black is better, but it's not so clear. Oh, it came up with a better idea. It says -1.7. Yeah, I mean, black is winning, but I don't know. Are you going to play queen f7 in this position? Who does that? Yeah, I mean, this is unclear, right? So I lashed out, but now I'm just lost. Now it's -3. What are the ratings of both players? I was white. I'm 2050. The black player was 2100. Yeah, that's what my opponent mentioned after the game. Here I would try and stop that. And you can sort of try and wait, because it is almost Zugzwang. I really can't allow that, so I think I have to play bishop h2 here. I mean, it's not pleasant, but I can try. But anyway, I mean, here he traded into the ending. This was my 40th move. King takes f3. He played this, and I resigned. We had made time control. I had some time to think about it, and it's just lost. There's nothing I can do. So here I resigned. So a nice game from my opponent. I think the critical point was when I was inflexible. In that, as soon as the queen side closed, I had been planning to play b4 for a long time. So I went ahead and tried to play b4, but I mean, he made b4 hard, and he closed the queen side, so it makes a lot of sense to queenside castle. And I think the computer says white is +1 in this position. Yeah, it's plus 0.8, so +1. A huge advantage for white here. Black doesn't really have a ton of counterplay. F5 takes. I want to go G takes, but I think white is just so much better here. H4, H5 is very scary. Anyway, that was that game. Next game. This was round 3. I had 1 of 2. I was paired with a teenager who was 1900. You gotta look out for kids, man. Kids are scary. So a kid who's 1900, I give them a lot of respect, because it gets pretty hairy. You know, playing kids can, you never know what you're gonna get. Oh, I should flip the board. I was black. My opponent played a Catalan, but with 2 G3, so it's not really a Catalan yet. Sure. I played D5 because sure. Here he can go knight F3, and that's a little bit annoying because it sort of denies my line of the Catalan. But he went C4, which I was happy to see because now I get this line. I saw a Tony Rowe video on this, and I've been playing it ever since. It was pretty good. I used to struggle a lot versus the Catalan, but this system has gotten me good positions. I don't always convert the positions, but it gets me decent positions. Bishop D2, and the point is, the bishop is sort of poorly placed here, so I went bishop D6. And here, my opponent's move order is a little weird, because normally the knight's on F3. But because the knight's not on F3, there's some interesting opportunities here. My opponent played knight C3. And here I went into a big think, because we're already in a position that I'm a little bit unfamiliar with. So, normally, knight C3 is bad in the Catalan, because black takes on C4 and tries to hold on to this pawn with all he's got. But the problem is, so I ended up taking, which is maybe not best. I would rather be castled before I take. But if I castle here, we get a really complicated position. Because this is actually hanging. That's one... the knight's not an F3, which means this bishop is open. So after like takes, it looks like I've lost a pawn, but he's still hanging. So here, there's this move. And this position is rather complicated, especially if white finds the critical move, which is E4. And now I have no idea what's going on here. White's king side has been compromised, which means white's king isn't really going to be safe over here. It's not really going to be safe over here, but, you know, that's a center if I've ever seen one. And I think this could be difficult to play as black. So I didn't really want to play this. I saw this position and I was like, maybe not. It doesn't look great. Bishop takes b7? No, and the reason is you're just helping me, because at the end of this, this pawn hangs. So I get my pawn back. And you've helped me develop my pieces. And you're also this rook. I won't take the pawn, just kidding. Who am I joking? I want the rook. Hello. I mean, you can try the same thing on f7, which is probably more accurate. Whoa, crazy. You can try this one. But again, this pawn hangs. And all of a sudden I have a big threat. That's pretty scary. So yeah, that wouldn't be good. But after e4, bishop d6, it's very unclear. Like white just gets his pieces out really quickly, and I don't know if I would want to play this with black. So I took here, and my opponent made a mistake here. I think my opponent played e4. I think queen a4 is probably best. And then I might go for these like funky knight c6 lines. These lines are a little weird. I don't have a very good understanding of the Catalan. I'll be the first person to tell you that. Here I think you can go knight c6, and the point is on takes, takes, takes. You just argue that you have full compensation for the pawn. I mean, it's not the stupidest argument I've ever heard. White's king side is undeveloped, and black has open lines on the queen side, and black is really well developed. But I also don't have to do that. I can play like c6. And this position is passive, but not the worst thing the world has ever seen. After takes, castles, I'm threatening to play b5. So, yeah, it's something. But instead my opponent played e4. And part of the reason that I play this system with bishop b5, or bishop b4 check, followed by bishop d6, is, okay, not what I wanted to do. I have e5. I can meet e4 with e5. And now I've sort of broken the center. And I think this is probably equal. The point is, if he takes and plays f4, I mean, yeah, you have a lot of space in the center, but I got an extra pawn, and your queen side is very undeveloped. So this position is unclear, but I think black is a little bit better. Also, I should point out, in this position, oops, the engine loves this move, which I find ridiculous. But the engine is in love with the move, knight c6. What? What is this? Who does this? The engine evaluates this as like 0. It says black has full compensation for the piece on move 10. Black has full compensation for the piece. There is no threat. There's not a threat. It just wants to play the position down a piece. Yeah, you're going to play knight d3 check. That's the point. This is your compensation. And you're going to argue that this knight is strong enough to warrant sacking a piece. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. And yeah, here it just castles. Like there's no problem. It's just like, yeah, I'm down a piece, so what? And it just plays it out to a draw. I think the line I looked at, it ended up winning this pawn, and it forces white to take here so that you have like this massive 4-on-2 majority over here, and then it just tries to roll the majority. Yeah, we're not going to take on b2. Here it just castles and tries to win this one. Yeah, really interesting. But okay. My opponent played queen a4. I played bishop d7. I'm getting my pieces out. And after queen takes c4, here I made a big mistake. Oh, sorry, in this position? In the crazy line? Is b3 a move? Maybe. What do I know? Nope, not that line. Answer, maybe? Why do you ask me questions? I don't know. I didn't want to play this. Who signed me up for this? It likes bishop e6. It also wanted to take for a second. It wants to go rook e8. Ah, it wants to go c6. It's a little confused. C6? What does it even do? What? Please tell me the point of C6. What? And it goes knight d5? What? What is happening? It says minus 0.2 because of this move, knight d5. Man, there's a reason I didn't play this, and it's because I never even thought of it. Yeah, this is really quite something here. I don't know what's going on. It goes knight takes. What? I can't even fathom. Why isn't black losing here? Oh, queen f6 check. Yeah, that's real. Okay, enough of this silliness. Here takes. I played a terrible move, as we all just saw. I should take here. But I played knight c6 first, which is ridiculous. Because I was really unhappy with this move. I think this is one of my worst moves of the tournament, actually. Because takes, and now knight c6, this is so obvious. Like, this is staring you in the face. And the fact that I didn't play this is like, what am I doing? Like, this is really bad. Like, this continuation is just super duper obvious. And I saw it. And I guess I thought knight c6 was a better version of this. But it's ridiculous. Because my opponent just played knight f3. And here I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. So, yeah, this was just bad. I can't really say anything. If I, like, here, black is just much better. I have all my pieces out. You don't have all your pieces out. I'm going to win more time on this queen. Like, there's some cool lines here, actually. Where would you like to go with this queen? Because no matter where you go with this queen, it's not going to be pretty. Actually, let me pose this as a puzzle. Say I go queen e3. On queen e3, black is winning. What? Why is black winning in this position? Queen e3 is a blunder. Black is winning. Let's find a win for black here. This position is really cool. Knight b4? Okay, you're threatening the everything fork. So I will long castle. Rook's bishop c5 here is interesting. The point is, I'm not taking that piece. Bishop c5. Maybe I can just go queen e2 and grovel. Oh, maybe I can't. That's a little bit annoying. No, I'll go queen e2 and I'll be worse, but I won't be lost. The point is here on knight g4, I have to do this thing, which I'm not thrilled to do, but at least I don't lose immediately. Queen e2, bishop takes f2. Yeah, that's true. Sheppy's abusing this forking square. There's a similar idea in the position. Knight b4 is the right start. If you go bishop g4, I have f3. And I'm holding. Knight b4 is the right move. Where's the win? Bishop c5 is good. There's better. Sheppy, there's a similar idea. That's a lot more winning than bishop c5. Yeah, exactly. Knight g4, it's lights out. And the point is, when the queen moves, we just take. And you can't take it. Yikes. So I'm gonna win one of these. It's a little bit unpleasant. So queen e3 loses on the spot. Very sad. Someone suggested queen d3, which is also not very good. This one's a little bit harder. Here, bishop c5 is quite strong. You're just stepping out of any e5 stuff. You're targeting him. And now, after knight f3, knight b4, white has to go queen b1, which is not what he wanted to do, and bishop g4. Stop me from playing knight d3 check. It's not going to be easy. You can do this, maybe. This seems a little ridiculous, though. I must have something here. Yeah, here, I think I can take this, actually. And the point is, I'm going to take this piece. Castles stop the check? That's true. Castles loses on the spot. Whoops. Castles is a good idea, but you lose. It does stop the check. You got me there. So yeah, you can't castle. So queen d3 is bad, which means the best move here is actually queen c4. And I was planning on going knight e5, and then bishop g4, and just castling. And all my pieces are out, and I'm just better here. I can take here twice. Your queen on f3 is a little bit sad. Like you can play h3, sure. And black is just better. King d1 stopping check. Very good. What could go wrong? So that was all very nice. I didn't play any of it because I'm bad. Knight f3. Here I was very annoyed with myself. I took because I didn't really see what else to do. I can castle. Castles is probably reasonable. Although, does castles lose? No, castles is reasonable. I can also throw in this move, bishop e6. I like this move. The bishop is better on e6. And then when you go, wherever you go. And this position is still okay for black, but I took, which is probably fine. And here I played knight e5. Castle's d5. Yeah, you can go d5. But then you would d5, which means this pawn is going to be really strong. Like, I can go like knight e7. And you're never going to get your f4 in. This knight is sort of bad now. And I'm probably going to play c6 really quickly. Not really, because on d5, this is not what I'm looking for. Yeah. d5 is interesting. I think black is good here, though. I think c6 is very strong. I can take with the bishop. And the position's probably roughly equal. Here, I played knight e5, which is not great. Queen e2, I played bishop c5, which is also not great. And here my opponent played badly. We're just both playing terribly here. He should play knight b3. And we both saw this line, and we both thought it was bad for white, but it's actually great for white. We saw this line with bishop g4. And the point is, I'm revealing the queen on this square, so after f3 I land this check. And we're both like, oh, knight d3 check, that's really good for black. But it's not. Like, I just can, these are just moves that I like spat out. Okay, I have to move my bishop, I'll put it on e6. White grabs the bishop pair. White attacks the knight. I develop a piece and defend it. White gets ready to attack the knight again, and you sort of have to move the knight, but it's unclear where the knight wants to go. I put it on a6. I mean, you can play this, sure. It's all the same. And white just goes king f2. And white has all his pieces developed. And the check didn't hurt him at all, and black doesn't have all his pieces developed, and black doesn't have any space, and white's going to go f4, e5, and it's good for white. So we both miscalculated. We thought the check was devastating, when in actuality it's just nothing. So I think that's another lesson. It sort of goes back to what I was talking about at the start of last game, where it's like making sure your opponent's ideas are good ideas. Because knight d3 check is an idea, but it's not a very good idea. So he was scared of this idea that wasn't a good idea, so he shouldn't be scared of it, because it's bad. So after bishop c5, he should play knight b3, and I'm just much worse. But he played knight f3, and now after bishop g4, the position is kind of rough. Yeah, Photon, that happens in the Catalan for black a lot. Black doesn't get a lot of space in the Catalan. So here, black is better. Or it's not black is better, excuse me. The position is equal. And my opponent blundered. So let me ask, what would you play as white here? What's the move for white? I'm going to put my hummus back in the fridge, and while I do that, find a move for white. right, let's see what we got. It's easier to guess his blunder. No one has any ideas? Alright, Iago, what's his blunder? Short castle is a move. Okay. Here, my opponent made the losing blunder, short castles. Loses on the spot. Black to play and win. So let's go back. The move I was actually worried about in this position, and I think it's the best move in this position, is long castles. I think long castles is clearly best. Yeah, because after long castles, this piece is defended. So long castles is a good move, I think. And white gets all his pieces in really quick. The position is equal here. Maybe you don't have to long castle. You can play h3. Like this is a position. You can play this. But I think long castle is actually pretty good. Like that's an immediate threat. Queen b5 check is actually never a threat. I should show that. If here you go queen b5 check, you're losing. I go c6. Uh-oh. And the point is when you take this piece, I'm grabbing a couple pieces here, and your king's not going to feel very comfortable. Nah, we want it back on f3. We win the piece back on f3. No, not knight d3. Oh, I could go knight d3. That's true too. That's good too. That's better than my move. You mean after long castles, queen b5 is a threat? Yeah. Right now, if queen b5, I have to go knight e d7 to hold all my material. So here, I mean, castles is reasonable. Taking twice on f3 is reasonable. Oh, yeah. So, I looked at this position. And I thought knight d3 check is actually too dangerous for black. Because I saw this. And yeah, we're winning an exchange, but oh man, is this dangerous after bishop g5. So, yeah, have your exchange, but this ain't gonna be pretty. Like, boom, I'm coming in. Yeah, dude, I love apple juice. You have no idea. And you're in big trouble. There's threats on c7 to get my exchange back. So here I think white is better. White is much better. Black's king is stuck in the center. Maybe I have to castle here. Castles probably loses. Let's see. Let me turn on the engine. It says white is slightly better. I'm not dropping a queen here. Oh, If I castled, I would be dropping a queen. So it wants to go queen d5, takes, and then take on c7. Yeah, and it says white is better, but not a whole ton better. Yes, if I castled, I drop a queen because I'm brilliant like that. So yeah, long castles is nice. And here the position is very equal. But my opponent short castled. And you guys posted lines with knight f3, but I think knight f3 is a serious inaccuracy. I would call knight f3 a mistake. Because after knight f3, white is down a piece, but there's some initiative here. e5. Let's go. Like, white builds a big attack pretty quickly. Is white is worse? Yeah, white's worse. He's down a piece. But this is hard to play for black. Like, knight d7, rook d1. I'm going to take here as well. Well, maybe I won't take there, because then you castle and then you're safe. No, you can't castle. That's annoying. Queen somewhere? You can't castle. This hangs. That's annoying, right? So white gets some big initiative for the material. Om nom nom. I don't even have to eat all these pawns. I could have played e6 as well. Knight d7, I could try this e6 idea. I don't know what's happening there. Something. And this is wild. Queen takes b2. Queen takes b2 is scary for black. Like, can I go after this knight somehow? Yeah, let me play this. That's annoying. This piece is... There's some interconnection problems. I guess you go rook d8. Maybe rook d8 holds it all. Maybe you long castle. That's an idea. Can black long castle here? That's funny if you can. Queen b2, rook d7. That is interesting. Yeah, so if I block, I'm gonna have some big issues here. This might be bad for black. Like king c8, knight here. No, it's scary. What? No? Yeah, king can't come up. Engine says black is winning. Black is winning. -6. Black is winning. Okay. Rook d7 is -2. How is black winning? Well, he's up a lot of material. So if he's not getting mated, he's up a rook. If you don't mate me, I'm up a rook. And I like rooks. Those are good pieces. So let me go back to knight takes f3, bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3. Let me look at what the ending says here. e5, it liked that move. Knight d7. Yeah, okay, it wants to go pawn hunting. It's gonna grab him and go queen c6. Ah, sneaky. Queen c6 sets up the threat of rook d1 followed by rook takes and queen takes. And black is better here, but it's not the clearest thing in the world. So let's go back. After castles, I found the hyper-accurate bishop takes f3. This is a very good move. And you have to see the point. If bishop takes f3, Sheppy has found the point. I will not play knight takes f3. I'll play queen d2. And remember all the tempos you were winning on my queen? And remember how you were trying to mate me with your queen? That's not going to happen when the queens are off. So here, black is really just a piece up. This is really nasty. So my opponent, after bishop f3, he tried queen b5. In this position, queen d7. Oh, after queen d2. Yeah, here I have a couple choices. Queen d7 looks sensible. I can also go like knight here. This is also sensible. Is this sensible? This might not be sensible. This is a total mess. I have to play c6 here. Yeah, I don't know about this. Queen b7, I might be losing here. I might have pushed my luck. I think I pushed my luck. So yeah, just queen d7. And the point is, if you take here, I'll take here. So that's why in this position my opponent tried queen b5. And what's the move here? Yeah, very important. Knight fd7 is actually an only move. Knight fd7 is like -3, and everything else is 0. So you should play knight fd7. c6, this piece is hanging. You gave me my piece back. Now it's even. Play knight fd7. I'm not going to take this piece. And now he's just down a piece. I took there, and it's just a piece. So we can rush through this game. It was sort of funny how I escaped the pressure down the C line, or down the D line. Here, there's 3 pieces attacking the knight, but I can defend it 3 times by long castling. And now I'm just winning. Yeah, the game's over. We're gonna trade all the pieces, and all the rooks are coming off, and it's game over. So that was my round 3 game. Well, material's equal. Oh, what you missed is that very unfortunately, he's hanging at the end of the line. Yeah. It's hard to visualize. There's a lot going on in that position. So yeah, you have to play knight fd7, or else you lose. How sad. You don't lose, but... Well, this might be losing for black. This doesn't look very good. The king's going to go for a walk. So, yeah, that's the end of that game. Oh, God, that's the end of the game. So, this was my 4th game. And I got my pairing. And I was paired with a 13-year-old who was rated 2100. That's a scary pairing. If you get a 13-year-old who's rated 2100, it's going to be a tough game. And he played really well. No, I had black. It was annoying. I got 2 blacks in a row. I was very upset. Yeah, I had 3 blacks out of 5 this tournament, and I got two blacks in a row. I was very unhappy to have black this game against a 13-year-old who was rated 2100. That's just not a good combination. And of course, I play into some really sharp stuff, which you should never do when you're playing against kids. When you're playing a kid, you should play the most boring thing possible and just bore them to death. Yeah, but that's the problem. If he's 2100 and he's underrated, that means he's master strength. It's tough. Not that I can't beat masters, but it's a hard pairing. Here he played knight f3. I played the Nimzo against knight c3, but here, I actually recently learned a new system against this. This is my first game ever playing this opening. I played the Rogozin. I've never played this before. And it kind of showed because I missed a really key idea for black, and then I was just terribly worse out of the opening, and I just had to buckle down and be really a lot worse for a lot of the opening because I missed one of the main ideas. And it was just because I didn't really know the opening that well. Yeah, no, I used to play bishop e7 here, but I was really unsatisfied with the positions I was getting. I just kept getting... I was always worse. So I decided to learn the Rogozin, which is supposed to be solid. It's supposed to be really drawish. But yeah, this is... I played... Now I know, is what I'll say. Now I know more about this opening. Bishop g5 is standard. h6 takes is standard. Queen a4 check is a bit of a sideline. Yeah, I always play that knight f6 move order to avoid the knight c3, to avoid the exchange Queen's Gambit with knight c3. The Barsky's book? I don't know what that is. I don't know what the Barsky book is. Yeah, I mean, this is a line. It's not super crazy sideline. Everyone plays Queen a4? I don't know. I really don't know a lot about the Rogozin. I'm just trying to learn it. Knight c6 is forced. And I think people take usually, but my opponent played e3. Oh, I'll check it out. Thanks for the recommendation. Let me write that down actually. Barsky. I just have like score sheets laying around all over my desk. That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you, Magnus Cornelius, for recommending that. Well, yeah, a lot of they used to take on. I've seen games where they take on move 5, but I think after Queen A4 they take now. I think people take, but my opponent played E3, which is fine. I castled. My opponent played Rook C1, and here I played A6, which is dubious at best. So this is misguided, we'll call it. Because here I was like, oh wow, my threat is I'm going to take, and when he takes, I'll play B5. And then after I played A6, I'm like, I'm not even threatening to do that, because this rook isn't protected. So, say, you know, takes. Say I go in for this. It's just ridiculous. He just takes, and the A pawn is pinned. So A6 is not a great move, to say the least. Better is to execute the idea of the opening, but I'm not going to give it away because it's coming later. So A6, my opponent played A3. I have to take. If I don't take, I'm just losing. So takes, rook takes. And here I played bishop d7, which is a bad move. At this point, there's a really important idea that needs to be executed. So let's test our Rogozin knowledge, because now I've learned about the Rogozin. What must be played here? If you don't play this right now, you're just worse. You're just really, really worse. There's a key idea that has to be played. This was, I think this game was valuable just because I learned this idea. Rook b8 is interesting, but probably bad. Yeah, so the problem with Rook b8 is you're actually, oh, maybe you are. I thought you weren't threatening b5 because, say, any random move, takes b5. I thought you had queen a6, but you don't. The bishop's protecting it. But rook b8 takes, rook takes is ridiculous. Rook b8 is interesting. It's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Rook b8, I probably have to take. And this is, okay, rook b8, I could also play queen c2. Yeah, that might be annoying. And then I might ask you why your rook's on b8. Yeah, either takes or queen c2. They both look very good for white. Queen g6 is interesting, and it's actually one of the engine recommendations. I think it's not principled. Queen d6 is interesting. It's very interesting. The idea is to prevent the bishop from coming to its natural diagonal. But I think the principled continuation here is to take. And the point is, on bishop takes, we're going to break. this e5 break is critically important to this opening. You're right, I'm an idiot. No, it does prevent that. Queen g6 prevents, not for the reasons I thought. Queen g6, yeah. Yeah, or bishop e2. So, yeah, you have to do something a little wonky. But I think the principal continuation is takes e5. And this position is getting close to equal. Very close to equal. Here, white should probably play d5 if he wants to claim an advantage. But now knight e7. And white has no advantage, I don't think. My moves start flying out. This bishop comes out. Also, any bishop move threatens b5. So black is doing well here. It might not be total equality, but black should be fine. So the e5 break is very principled, and now I know if I get the chance in this opening, I'm playing e5. But instead I play bishop d7, which is really much worse. Because now queen c2, and my position's really bad. Like, really bad. It's sort of incredible how bad my position is. Yeah, dc4 and e5, it's not a Rogozin only thing. It probably should have crossed my mind, because in this position, I did consider playing e5, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't work. But I was wrong. I just needed to look harder. Oh well. So, yeah, after queen c2, my position's really bad. So here I was like, wow, I've misplayed this somehow. I'm really a lot worse. So I played pretty well here. I buckled down and what was gracefully worse. Yeah, I know about the e5 idea. I know what you mean about that position. But yeah, I did a good job not being gracefully worse here. So the problem is at any moment, white's gonna take here, and then the knight is pinned to the c pawn. So I decided I had to defend the c pawn twice. So I played rook fc8, bishop d3, and queen d8. And it's not pretty, but I'm not losing. So small minor victories, I guess. He castled. And now I played knight e7. And the point is, if you let me, I'm going to play c5. Well, not like that. And if I play c5, the position will probably be roughly equal. Like, this rook is a little bit oddly placed. So knight e5. Also, very annoying. There's this threat of bishop h7, which forces king f8. Because if you go to h7, you're hanging mate. So here I played bishop e8, stopping the threat, keeping my bishop as well. And my opponent played rook d1. So in this position, I played a losing move. Totally losing. Here I played the move c5, which I thought worked, but it doesn't. So here, this position is white to play and win. CD. You've discovered an attack on this pawn, so I'll go CD. DE. Yeah. Here it's rough. I will take this. Bishop h7. And it's not the clearest thing in the world. First thing to note, you have to play king f8. Very sad. Takes. And I think the reason I miscalculated this is when I was visualizing this, here after bishop h7, I lost this pawn on e6. It disappeared from my visualization. So I thought I had king h8 and takes. And here I was like, okay, I have two rooks for the queen, and this bishop is poorly placed. So I thought, you know, he has to play something like bishop d3 or something. And I thought black is doing fine here because I thought this pawn on e6 didn't exist. So this was some misvisualization on my part. I didn't correctly visualize the position as I was calculating, and it led me to play a losing move, which is c5. And then my opponent played dc, and I equalized immediately. So I played a losing move, which equalized the game. Isn't it funny how that works? Instead of c5, I should probably go f6 and bring this bishop out along this diagonal. Yeah, you can play ef7 there. It works as well. To show the line. Here, instead of bishop h7, you can go ef7. And life is hard. C takes d5, c takes d4, bishop h7, check. Well, here, can I get away with king h8? Probably not. I'm probably losing. Yeah, white is winning. Well, +1. Winning enough. Yeah, it's +1. The immediate king h7. Or bishop h7. Not as winning as the other lines, though. So, yeah, c5 loses. But he took this way, and now it's just equal. Now black is doing fine. He played b4, he gained some space, can't blame him. Bishop e2. Queen c7 hits the knight. It steps out of the d file as well. Oh, why did I do that? Why does it keep doing that? I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, queen c7, knight f3. And now I played a dubious move. Well, Sheppy, I was initially scared too, but I thought I calculated it. And then I didn't. So, it happens when you miscalculate. So I played something dubious here. Let's ask the crowd. I think this is an interesting position. What would you play for black? Yeah, I played b5. b5 is dubious. I should calculate better. You're not wrong. Yeah, I played b5, which is dubious. Let's suggest better moves. Let's play better than me. Who has a better move than b5? There are a couple good moves in this position. Yeah, both moves were actually suggested right there. a5 is a great move. a5 and maybe black is better. The point is you just can't go b5. Because that's a pin. So after a5, I'm going to open this file. You kind of have to like break the pin, but now this file is open. It's nice for black. It's definitely nice for black. Also suggested was bishop b5. It's a good move. I think white has really nothing better than to go c5, and then we trade off our terrible bishop. And this is a position. I'll move my queen and play a5, or maybe I'll just play a5. Or maybe I'll play knight c6, and then I'll play a5. I probably won't do that. Maybe I'll play e5. That's a move. e5 here. But yeah, I mean, this is good for black. This is equal. a5, black has the a file. It's a good move. I played b5, which doesn't lose, but it's not great. And now it's really important. Black only has 2 reasonable moves here. Everything else is pretty bad. So who's got one of 2 reasonable moves here? Because this position is critical. And I played a bad move here, and my opponent like grabbed me by the reins and never let go. That's not the phrase. Grabbed me by the horns? I don't know. a5 is good here. Knight c6 is what I played. It's terrible. So yeah, a5 is good. a5, and he has to do something a little bit awkward. Like, he has to protect his b pawn, maybe like queen b2. Oh, white can never play a4. Yeah, so white, excuse me, white has to do something a little bit awkward. I can play like rook fb8. And this is fine. e5 is the other move. e5 is also good. And the point is, after knight c6, my opponent found the best response. So this is the last puzzle of the game. White to play. What is white's best move? White is a very good move here. Thinking like a 2100. I wish I could, man. Knight d4 is okay. Knight d4 still gives white an edge, but white is better. White definitely has an edge after knight d4, but white is better. e4. Yikes. That one hurts, man. White is significantly better here. Like, +1. And the threat is he's going to win a pawn. And if I take this, well, this is like disaster. Like bishop d3 and checkmate. So that's no good. I don't want to be mated. After e4, the best move is a5. Going for some crazy complications. Knight e7 is probably the second best move, but a5 is still here, threatening to win this pawn. And after something like queen b2, then we go knight e7. Am I dropping frames? Oh. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened there. I just dropped a lot of frames. What I was saying is that after e4, the best move is a5, and then when white defends his b pawn, then you do have to go knight e7, which is annoying. Instead, I played the worst rook d8. And after takes queen f5, it's not pretty. So yeah, here I tried to calculate my way out, but there is no way out. I came close to calculating my way out, but it doesn't quite work. After d4. Rook c3, bishop d7, queen h5. I tried to get cute. Rook e8 is interesting, but he has this nice response, knight d4. And there's nothing I can do. I'm just losing here. The rest of the game, queen f3. The annoying thing is I almost have this. When I went in for this line with d4, I thought I had here. I thought I had knight d4, but I noticed later that this rook in the corner is hanging, which is it's tough because you know like six moves into the calculation. I had to see that this like random rook in the corner is hanging when the rooks have been connected the whole game. So I think this was an easy one to miss. Because here, after bishop c6, it's not the clearest thing in the world. If I can drive the queen away from this piece. I guess even here there's just queen d3. The other thing that I thought maybe I could do was instead of going d4, sorry, it was d4, bishop d7. I could almost make this work. This is very close to working. It just doesn't quite work. Rook takes d4 wins. Where? Sorry? In this, here, rook takes d4? You're just hanging an exchange. It's just an exchange. Here black is doing fine. Black might not be better, because this pawn is pretty strong. But black will at least draw. I almost made this other line work with bishop e6, It's very close to working. After takes, my idea was bishop c4. I'll get back to that in just 1 second, Sheppy. So yeah, the problem here is there's knight c6, which hits the rook coincidentally. Also, you can't take that because then this rook hangs on the back rank. So a lot of issues. Take the rook. You have to take the bishop, but then all of a sudden the queen snaps back, and this is just a pawn down queen ending, which is dead lost. Instead of queen takes a8. I believe it. Rook e5, queen f3. Rook takes d4. Oh yeah, that might win. That's real. Yeah, that looks pretty strong. Do I have an intermezzo? Yeah, it's the same. This doesn't work. You're right. So, yeah, here I'm just lost. And to add insult to injury, after rook g5, my opponent found a nice little shot, knight b5. Totally wasn't expecting this. Now I'm really lost. If I wasn't lost before, now I'm truly, well and truly lost. So yeah, here it's over. So I was much worse in the opening, and then I played a losing move that equalized, and then I immediately played very badly. So I wasn't thrilled about this game, but I think I learned a lot. I need to be more careful when it comes to moves that alter the structure. Like my b5 move, I think I need to be more careful, and I needed to look out for other structure-altering moves. My e5 I needed to look for, and his e4 were both structure-altering moves that I missed. So I think those were some good lessons to take away from this game. It's getting pretty late. It's almost 11 o'clock. I did have one more game against an 1850, another kid, which I did win. It wasn't anything spectacular. I'll just buzz through this game. I played the same-ish. I had white. I played the same-ish against the King's Indian, which is this setup. It's a very aggressive setup. But here, after when your opponents play 6e5, this is a known terrible ending for black. So I just exchanged, and it's just known to be very bad for black because white just has a huge central space advantage. Takes, and knight d7 is a bad move. Here, you really have to play c6 to neutralize white's center a little bit, and this is a normal continuation. But after knight d7, it's really hard to manage the c pawn. So yeah, the position's already quite bad for black. Yeah, that's why, and it's calculating structuring alter moves. It is hard. I mean, it requires a lot of visualization, a lot of imagination, but it's so important because the structure really defines the course of play. And if you miscalculate those, or if you don't see the right idea, you just end up being worse. No, so if you play, say you play f3 and then bishop e3, now the ending is not as good for white because the point is here. Now it's just not as good because after knight d5 takes c6, you can't play knight c3. So the ending is much better when knight ga2 is included because at the end of the main line, after c6, you can go knight c3. Also, another thing is that the bishop being committed to e3 is not necessarily a good thing. A lot of times in these lines, the bishop will come out to g5. So, yeah, I think this is just terrible. Here, knight d7 is bad. I played bishop e3. A lot of times you play bishop g5, but this would allow black to trade off his really bad bishop. So I didn't want to allow that. So I played bishop e3. And he, I think, found really the only idea, which is to meet rook c1 with bishop d6. Knight c3, I want to play knight b5 and kill him. He played a6. He could also play c6 here, but that does ruin his structure a little bit. And this is clearly better for white. So yeah, a6 is probably good. Here I played knight a4, which I'm not sure about. Knight a4 isn't terrible, but I feel like I should probably just develop my pieces and be better because I'm developed and you're not. I'll go back and look at that. Yeah, knight a4, not a great move. I think I should just develop my pieces. Maybe bishop e2. You have to move the knight again if you want to develop any of your pieces, but it's not clear where the knight should go. Like if you go knight f6, then you're in front of your f-pawn. You don't really want to go knight f8. Knight c5, that's a little loose. I might start having ideas of going like knight b5. I might like castle and go knight b5. So yeah, it's not great for black here. I think I should have developed, but knight a4 is interesting. F5. F5 is a good practical try, I think. I developed my pieces. I originally thought I had knight c5 here, but then black goes knight f6, and this isn't so clear, actually. Because he's threatening a pawn, maybe bishop d3, and then like b6. And I don't really want to jump in here. So knight c5, I thought I had knight c5, but it's probably not very good. So I think just bishop d3 is good. He played knight f6, more pressure. He gets the knight to a sensible square. I castled. Again, I can go knight c5, but it's just not really doing much. Just b6. And I haven't really accomplished anything. So I castled, b6. And here I came up with a nice maneuver, I thought. I played b3. This just requires some imagination for the knight. Where would I like to put the knight? Well, if the knight lands on c4, that bishop is the piece that's holding together black's position. So b3 makes a lot of sense. Here he played a bad move. He played f4. I can understand why he wants to play f4. He has ideas of bringing this light squared bishop out here, but if he does, this pawn on f5 hangs. So it's not really a good idea, but also if he takes, all of a sudden this knight is hanging, which is very inconvenient. Something like this it's very unclear. Yeah, here I think just like takes h3. Black has to go h6, something like this, hitting the pawn. This looks very, very unpleasant. In fact, I think white is winning. So, Yeah, f4 is understandable, but it can't be right. You have to find some other plan. Bishop d7, I went knight b2, bishop b5. And here I realized after knight c4, takes, black can go knight d7. And this piece is just so terrible. So I actually wanted to exchange the light square bishops, which I encouraged with a4. Takes, knight d7. He should probably try and get some counterplay with like g5, g4, but he didn't. Here I played b4, and I'm happy to play this position because I'm in control of the c file, and you're not doing anything. You can never put a piece on c5. You can never do anything. He played h6, which is ridiculous. This should be g5. Rook c6. I'm going to double on the c file. He plays knight b8. His knight is ridiculous. And I just come back, and I'm still going to double. Here I double. And here he plays king f7, which actually loses on the spot. So white to play and win. What do we got? What's white doing here? Yeah, rook takes c7, of course. We break through. Shadunk. Yeah, I spent 15 minutes, calculated this, made sure it's winning, and it's really winning. There's not a lot black can do. King e8. My opponent played king f8 with the similar idea. Basically, the king move, the knight is the key piece here, and when the knight is pinned, it's really bad. But king f8, king e8, it's all the same. I played what I played in the game. Let me ask, what should white play here? Because this was an instructive moment. This is what I had to see when I sacked the exchange. I had to see this move, or else it doesn't really work. Rook c6. Very good. My opponent played rook a c8. I don't know if you actually want to go hunting. I did not take this because all of a sudden black gets active. Maybe this one is best. You can play there. You can also play rook c3. They're both very active for black. And I didn't want black to be active. No activity for black. So after rook c6, rook c8, I didn't want this. So it's funny because I can do whatever I want and I'm still winning. So the most incisive win is to go knight b2. This is really strong. And the point is, you're going to go knight c4 and take that. And what does black do? Black can't do anything. But I played an even slower plan, which is also good. I played king f1. I just walked my king over and said, Black, you can't do anything. There's literally nothing you can do right here. Yeah, but that's all you can do. You can cry. G5, king e1. H5, king d2. And now I'm ready to play bishop takes b6. Because, say you go, I don't know, g4, takes, takes, takes. And before, your rook was going to enter on the c-file. But now your rook's not going to enter on the c-file. Because my king's on d2. Yeah, you can play this. But I have 2 passed pawns. That's a lot of passed pawns. I would call that many passed pawns. In fact, here I'd probably go knight b2. And just say, no counterplay allowed. Something like this. The rook is trapped, actually, sort of. Oh, I can't play that, but if I could, the rook would be trapped. Rook g6. How does black get a rook to g6? I guess he has to play like king e7, rook g8. It's too slow though. Like he had to get all these moves in, and then I guess he didn't have to play h5. But yeah, I'm just winning. So this was nice, a nice little exchange sack. He took, which is ridiculous. Now he's just totally lost. I have 3 connected passed pawns. Good luck. Oh, in that line. What, g4, yeah. Takes, takes, takes. Rook g6. Yeah, but this threat is really strong. Actually, in this position, I'll go bishop c7. And I'll threaten this pawn. Yeah, and then knight b2 c4 is also very good there. I think that's actually what I was planning. But I would have thought about bishop b6. So yeah, he took, and he just loses. Yeah, he's like getting mated here, basically. He resigned in this position. Anyway, yeah, I felt like I learned a lot. I definitely need to work. I need to keep working on my calculation. That's always been a big sort of soft spot for me. And I also need to be better about finding, about looking for my opponent's ideas, because there were a couple times there where I just overlooked kind of obvious ideas from my opponents. And that's a way to lose games. So, yeah, not a terrible result. I probably won't get any rating, which is a little bit annoying. But I mean, if I want to gain rating, I should beat these 2100s, right? So, yeah, I have no one to blame but myself. Anyway, thank you all for watching. It's been a bit of a long stream, actually. I need to go get some sleep. It's 11 o'clock, and I've been playing chess for 8 hours today. So thank you for watching, and I'll be up with more streams this upcoming week. I didn't really stream this week because I was busy, but yeah, next week hopefully I can stream some more. Thank you all. Have a lovely night, and I will see you next week.